Hi everyone, I'm Bonnie Hammer. I'm going to be teaching 146 corporate taxation this semester. We are not going to be covering the class in the same order that the text is put together, or in the same order that it's listed as a title. It says taxation of corporations, partnerships, estates, and trusts. We will be covering estates and trusts last, but we're going to cover partnerships and S corporations. S corporations are another kind of pass-through entity, as well as partnerships are a pass-through entity first, and then we're going to go on and cover S corporations after that. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before I move into what we're going to cover in each week in the class and kind of walk you through the syllabus. I am a corporate tax compliance specialist by trade, I would say. It's what I spent most of my career doing, is business tax compliance. So not just corporations per se, any kind of a business entity I dealt with. I worked my entire career at 2 different Big 4 public accounting firms. I started my career in 1988 after I graduated from San Diego State in the San Diego office of Arthur Young. That was before it merged with Ernst & Winnie and became Ernst & Young. I was there for a year and a half. Decided to move to the Bay Area to be around my family. And so me and my little daughter at the time moved to the Bay Area. At that point, I left Ernst & Young and went to Coopers & Lybrand, and I was there for 8.5 years in their Oakland and San Francisco offices. And then I was recruited back to Ernst & Young in 1998, and I was there ever since, until I retired from there this past February 2016 after having been there a total of 19 years. So I love what I do. I don't know whether everybody can say that about their careers and what they do day to day in their job, but I do love practicing tax. It's very technically challenging for me, depending on what I do. Some of it I've done for so long that it's, I feel like I could do some of it in my sleep, but I like it. I love the people side of it, the developmental side of it, and since I retired from Ernst & Young, that's what I was missing, was I felt like the people side of it, because I've been consulting with companies, basically helping them review tax returns and do tax provision work, and I'm working with a San Diego company right now, helping them on the accounting side as well. So I'm doing whatever companies need me to do right now, but I'm kind of on my own. I mean, I'm not working with teams, so I really missed that, and that's why I came to Miracosta. This is my first semester at Miracosta. It's my first semester teaching, and it's my first semester teaching online for sure. So I actually took this class last semester so that I could see what it was like to have a class be taught online, and it's doable. And we're using the same software this semester that I used last semester. We're going to use Blackboard and My Accounting Lab. You will spend most of your time in My Accounting Lab doing the homework and taking the quizzes and the midterms and the final, but you definitely should not ignore Blackboard, because you can enter into, and you will enter into, My Accounting Lab through Blackboard, and all of the course content, that is what I plan on covering week to week, is laid out in what I hope is a pretty easy to find and easily formatted, clearly formatted manner in Blackboard. So I would like you to spend some time looking around Blackboard. I did put together a walkthrough video where I actually have Blackboard on screen when you enter into the video, and then I kind of walk you through how I put together Blackboard, and then how you go into my accounting lab and how you navigate around my accounting lab. Because I would think, unless you've taken individual tax, you probably aren't familiar with my accounting lab. Maybe an online accounting class at MiraCosta. I haven't asked anybody this, but you may have some exposure to my accounting lab. I would think any of you who've taken an online course at MiraCosta would have Blackboard experience. If you need help, we have online Blackboard help, or actually phone help for Blackboard. There's people who you can call to get help with Blackboard. You can also go to the MiraCosta Oceanside campus, go to the library building, and go up to the second floor of the library, and there's a center called TIC. I forget what that stands for, but it's TIC, and it actually says that on the door of the library. You just walk up the stairs and go down to the end of the hall, and when you get into this room with a bunch of computers inside the room, you'll know you're in the right place. And Karen Korstad is a great resource in there. She's helped me a lot with questions that I had on Blackboard, as well as questions that I've had about how to use this video system that I'm using now. So she's a great resource, and let me know if you need any further help with the technology. But you know, you are taking an online class, so you're going to have to get pretty proficient with the use of the software, because that's how we conduct this class. Let's see. Do make sure, and I think I said this in the walkthrough video, but do make sure that you have all of your information, your personal information, entered correctly, including, and most importantly, including your email address. If your email address in Blackboard is not correct, you will not get the emails that I send to you all through the announcement section of Blackboard. Blackboard works in such a way that when I post announcements, I can send the announcements as emails to you. And that's what I'm going to do in every instance, because I think it's important for you guys to be able to, you know, especially since it's an online class, and I know all of you have, you know, you've probably got smartphones, you've got computers, you've got iPads, you're looking at your email all the time. It's a really good way for us to communicate and keep in good contact with each other throughout the semester. But again, if you don't have your email address entered correctly in Blackboard, you're not going to get my emails. You'll have to go into Blackboard and go into the announcement tab of Blackboard in order to see my announcements. Having said that, I do want you to make sure that you're going into Blackboard on a regular basis to see if there are things that I've posted in there that maybe you hadn't seen before. So for instance, right now, you know, we're a week away from class starting. I'm leaving this intro video on the Tuesday before the week we start. We start next Monday. I'm not finished yet posting all of the materials for the last half of this semester. I believe I'm done with weeks 1 through 11, but I might add something. I might add another video, or I might add another assignment that I might have forgotten to put in there. So, and I'll try to send you an announcement if something like that happens, but I do expect you and want you to be going into Blackboard every couple days, and certainly go into the course content tab of Blackboard and look for your particular week that we're in. And I've labeled I have a folder for each week, week 1, week 2, week 3. I've put inside each folder for each week what, you know, the content that you're going to need for that week, whether it's videos or the assignment for the week with the My Accounting Lab link, you know, maybe a discussion board assignment or whatever. That's where all of that's going to be found, is in Blackboard. So please make sure that you're going in there on a pretty regular basis. Okay, I told you a little bit about myself, and I'd like to learn a little bit about you guys too. So your assignment for the first week is going to be to do an autobiography of yourself. So tell me what your work experience is. Please tell me what your school experience is, why you're taking this class, what kind of tax experience you have thus far, what you plan to do with this tax class, why you're taking it, what your aspirations are in life, career-wise, or personal-wise. I'd love to hear that too. Let me know what you're doing. I would love to get to know each one of you a little bit better and know what you like to do when you're not working or going to school. I like doing triathlon when I'm not going to work or going to school. So that's what I do. Triathlon consists of swimming, biking, and running in that order in a race. And so I spend a lot of my time doing those things on a regular basis to stay trained up for my next race. So don't have any races planned right now, but I'll let you know if and when I sign up for one. So please do that autobiography. Please do the walkthrough video of Blackboard and My Accounting Lab, unless you already feel like you know Blackboard and you can navigate around and you don't need to listen to me walk you through that. And if you feel comfortable with My Accounting Lab, great. Otherwise, you could skip the Blackboard part of the video and just move on to the My Accounting Lab portion would be an idea. Okay, syllabus contains a wealth of information, so please do go through my syllabus. I'm going to walk you through quickly the syllabus right now. We are going to be using Blackboard and My Accounting Lab, are the two online technology that we're going to be, pieces of technology that we're going to be using. I will have many instructor videos. I'm going to have videos where I just walk you through a problem, a homework problem that will be similar to one that I've assigned, so that you can see how I work myself through it. And often that video will be a combination lecture video with a homework problem work through at the end of the video that covers that, you know, and that problem will be associated with the subject I'm covering in the lecture. So some of those videos are pretty lengthy. If you don't want to listen to the videos, you don't have to. They're not mandatory. I can't, you know, make them mandatory, but I can tell you that I think they'll be helpful. If this is new to any of you, if tax is new to you, and presumably you're not just taking this, you know, I don't know why you would take this if you don't have to, then, you know, it's a complicated subject. So I'm hoping that these videos, lecture videos, will help you in addition to reading the book. But again, you can also, you know, kind of speed through parts of the video or listen to the video in 2 sittings. The first half of the videos are actually lecture, and then the last half or the last third is like the walkthrough of the problem. I tried to put that in the title of the video, what I'm covering. So if it doesn't talk about a walkthrough of a problem, then that video is all lecture, and that's what you should expect. And it'll talk about what I'm covering in the title of the video, subject-wise. When you're doing the problems, which will be done in My Accounting Lab, the homework problems, there are some tools that you can use. One is called Help Me Solve This, which walks students through a similar problem step by step, and you can actually skip steps if you're like, oh yeah, let's go, let's move on, you know, to the next requirement of this problem. I don't need you to go this slow walking me through. You can skip, but it walks you through not just the problem, but the concepts behind the problem, why you're doing what you're doing in the problem. So it's very helpful to use Help Me Solve This if you're having problems with a homework problem. Ask the Instructor is another tool that you can use. This is when you're in the problem. On the upper right-hand corner, there's a thing that says, help me, or, in, student help or something like that. When you click on that, there's these choices: help me solve this, ask the instructor. Ask the instructor basically gives you the wherewithal to email me your question. You just click on it and you go, hey, Professor Hammer or Bonnie, you can call me Bonnie, by the way. I'm having a problem with homework 12-4. Can you help me with this? I don't understand this certain concept and I keep getting it wrong. But before you do ask the instructor, do help me solve this first. And then if you still don't get it, then email me, because frankly, the book is much better at helping you through the problem than I'm going to be, honestly. And it's not that I don't want to help you. I'm perfectly happy to help you, but I prefer you do it in that order to try to help yourselves first. Okay, we're going to have homework and a quiz for each chapter, and each week we're going to have a chapter assigned. Then after we do our first 3 chapters, we're going to have a midterm on those first 3 chapters. And that midterm is going to have 2 different tests that you're going to have to take: a short answer test and a multiple choice test. I made sure that the multiple choice test, there are no true-false questions. And I did that for people who are trying to have this count towards CPE, continuing professional education, for some reason. Like if you're already practicing in an accounting firm and you're taking this for further help in, further knowledge in tax, you might want to use this for CPE. You can't use it. It doesn't qualify if you have any true false. So I made sure that I didn't put any true false questions in. Then we will have another midterm covering the next 4 chapters, the corporate chapters. We'll have a 5th corporate chapter that I am not going to test you on, other than the quiz that's going to be required for that week on that chapter, just like all other chapters, along with some homework problems. And then we'll move into the estate and trust sections of the book. And the last 3 chapters, you'll be tested on estates, trusts, and then there's like an administrative chapter, which is the 3rd one. That will be your final. So the final is not comprehensive. It's only on those last 3 chapters. I do reserve the right to change the ordering of the assignments or take something out. I might add something. It's probably not going to happen, but it could. Like if you guys are really feeling like you need more time to get through maybe some of the corporate chapters or whatever, and I'll be able to sense you're struggling, because I can look at averages and see if I can peer into things, because we're doing everything online, and see how you're doing. Then I might slow things down a little bit. But I just want to let you know that I reserve that right, so you're not surprised when it happens. There will be 3 discussion boards. The first one assigned is that autobiography. You will do these in discussion board in Blackboard. That's why they're called discussion boards. I will use that autobiography discussion board as a way of monitoring whether you showed up at class. And I need to be able to monitor that, because I need to know whether you're showing up. And I do expect you guys to show up to class. If you don't show up for the first 2 weeks, I reserve the right to drop you after that 2nd week. And the deadline to drop is the end of the 2nd week. I think it's February 3rd. So please make sure that you do the discussion board assigned and do it on time. And I'm going to use that as a way of monitoring who I'm keeping in the class and who I'm not. There are also going to be 2 tax returns that you're going to be asked to prepare. One's a partnership return, and that will be your only homework for that week, is the partnership return. You'll be preparing that the week after you take the first midterm. And the first midterm covers 2 partnership chapters and an S corporation chapter. So I figured at that point, you've covered the chapters, done the homework, done the quizzes, taken a midterm. So hopefully you'll feel adept at preparing your first partnership return. It's not going to be a difficult one. It's one that if I were doing it or having a staff do it for a client at EY, it would probably be a very quick process for them. You can do it You can do the return manually in Adobe Acrobat using forms that I supplied you in Blackboard, or you can do the return using TaxAct software, which I gave you a link to, and it's free software. It doesn't cost anything to download it to your computer, and you can prepare the returns in there. I didn't even think about using the software last semester when I prepared the return for Viersen, for Professor Viersen. I just prepared it manually, and it still only took me a couple hours to put together. Obviously, I know what I'm doing, right? Like, I've been doing these returns for 28 years, but it was easy, and I even had to foot everything down on the page of the return, right? Because I was doing them manually. If you use the software, it foots everything for you. So and think about using the software, but you can also do them manually. The syllabus walks us through week by week what you're assigned, and Blackboard walks you week by week what's assigned as well. The syllabus also lists the number of points that I've assigned to each assignment and the total number of assignments that you've been assigned, and then the total points. There's a total right now of 1,000 points, and I'm not planning on curving, so that would mean that you should plan on getting an A if you get a 90% or greater, and so forth. I list important school deadlines and holidays below the grading system. And then the last page of the syllabus walks us through things like disability accommodations and our policy on plagiarism and ethics and college support services, library support services, etc. So do take a look at the syllabus, print it out, keep it on your fridge or in your backpack or whatever, so that you have it with you all the time, even when you don't have a computer in front of you. Do please look at Blackboard every couple days to keep up with any changes I might have made or to look at what your course content is from week to week, or to see what announcements I've made. If you feel like things are quiet and you haven't heard from me in a week, it's probably because you're not getting your emails sent out by me as announcements through Blackboard, and you'll want to make sure that you are that you go back into your profile and get that working correctly for yourself. I think that's it for now. Good luck to you all this semester. We're both going to be learning. I'm going to be learning how to teach an online class. I think it'll go fine, and I think you guys are going to do great, and please seek out my help. We can always talk by phone. We can meet someplace on campus, and I will be posting office hours soon. Good luck to you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.